Yo, beautiful. It's Kyle Miller, America's Complete Life Coach, here with you to talk about John Wayne and how he saddled up in life, how he was a true hero. I mean, growing up, a lot of people, especially those that are into the whole cowboy life, love John Wayne because of his fierceness, his determination to do what's right, and also his humor. And he dropped this quote. He said, courage is being deathly scared and saddling up anyways. Think about that. Think about those times in your life that you were too afraid to saddle up in the face of fear. Think of those times that you did have the courage to saddle up. How did that feel? How did that impact your life? In that moment, after you took that step of faith and for overcoming that fear, did you feel empowered? Fear, it's very interesting because fear only has the power in our life that we give it. Fear, when we are trying to distance ourselves from it, we feel it more. But when we draw closer to it and try to understand it, that's when we gain power over it. I remember when I was So I remember when I was at Lake Powell. I have a fear of heights, and still trying to overcome those fears. But I had a fear of heights, and we were at Lake Powell. It's this lake inside the Grand Canyon. Beautiful lake, beautiful place. And we were on this cliff, and it was probably like, I don't know, like maybe 30 feet. And my brother was jumping it, and my other cousins were jumping it. I got up there and I was just like, man, that is a far ways down. I mean, and as I was thinking about that, in that moment where I just want to jump out, I felt so much fear. I just felt this huge thing, and when I got closer and closer to the fear, and doing it, the fear intensified. But then when I jumped, I mean, there was still a little bit of fear because I'm falling. But after I hit the water, I look up to the cliff and realize what I just done. I felt empowered. I was like, man, I just did that. I just conquered my fear right then because I was willing to be vulnerable to it. I was willing to embrace the fear and jump right towards it, face it. And when you're able to be completely vulnerable to fear, when you're able to not submit to the desire not to do it, but submit to conquering your fear and facing it, that's when you're able to understand it. Once I jumped off that cliff, I realized that fear, that I can overcome it. I understood what it felt like to jump from here down to the water, and it brought me peace and allowed me to do it a couple more times. Think of how doing that would influence your life by conquering your fears, because we all have them, we always will. But when we face them, when we understand them, that's when we gain power over them. So beautiful, gain power over your fears. Peace.